Spotify Camp Nou Stadium is the big deal. Now, this is the time for the Barca fans to just be buzzing with excitement. I mean, their new stadium is going to be one from dreams. But hold on a second, are they alone in that? Well, far from it. Their rival, yes, the mighty Real Madrid, is undertaking a renovation of its own, and it just blows the mind away. There are plenty that has been talked about which one is the better one, and you may have made up your mind about which one is that you like best. Here are some new updates, however. These updates have the power to change your cherished views just like that. So let's dive into the epic tale. The tale of two of world's grandest footballing venues, Bernabeu and Camp Nou. Built in 40s and 50s respectively, are just like vintage wine. They're just getting better with age. We have talked about it already. Real Madrid's Bernabeu is seeing a few facelifts, and boy has it paid off. This place has about everything. I seriously think that it's a money-making machine with training facilities, event spaces, and tours. And Madrid's not stopping there. They're pouring a whopping $1.5 billion into an overhaul. I mean, they started with a $600 million loan, but hey, go big or go home, right? The new Bernabeu will rake in an extra $217 million yearly. Talk about a return on investment. The motives of Barcelona camp are not dissimilar to Real Madrid's. Yes, they want their fortress to be a profitable venture. How do they plan to do that? Well, an epic transformation is all they needed, and they are on it big time. Did you know they're adding training grounds, a museum, stores, and more, all for an impressive $1.6 billion? That's a heavy price tag. The project, named Espai Barca, aims to make Camp Nou and its surroundings a footballing Disneyland. And I'm not overstating. The goal is to finish by the 2024-2025 season, but delays and budget bumps have made it a bit of a nail-biter. What are these two great clubs offering with these grand innovation plans? Hear me out. Real Madrid's new Bernabeu is modern to a great extent. It has a retractable pitch. You heard that right. And a skywalk. While the idea of retractable pitch can be handy, the skywalk will have cafes and bars. Now, just imagine for a second, you're watching an El Clasico game between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and you're sipping coffee at the top of the stadium. Classy, right? Not just that, the owners of the club are hell-bent on digitize the whole space. How do they do that? They had 360-degree scoreboard all around. The atmosphere at Bernabeu is going to be epic. And they will also provide a shiny new exterior with a retractable roof that opens in 15 minutes. Efficiency at its finest. On the flip side, Camp Nou's facelift will also include a retractable roof and solar panels. Here is what they are doing something unique. They are preserving historical elements while expanding seating to 105,000. Barca's project is all about blending the stadium with the city's Mediterranean vibe and making it a green, sustainable space. Will they be successful in their endeavors? Let's just wait and watch. Now, let's take a deep look at where these two stadiums have arrived as far as their construction is concerned. Camp Nou first. Work on this stadium started as early as July 2022. It is worth mentioning here that a sponsorship agreement has also been in place since that time, under which the name of the venue has been changed to Spotify Camp Nou. Since September 1st, 2022, the South Stand has been getting quite the makeover. First up, they started tearing down a section behind the south gate. This meant removing parts from the back and dismantling the central part of the top floor. But don't worry, they're not just leaving it like that. They're adding new stairs and escape routes to make sure the rest of the seats on the first and second floors are good to go. It all kicked off with taking down the scoreboard and pulling out seats. In total, they removed 3,782 seats. Most of these were for season ticket holders, but no one was left hanging. They got offered spots in similar areas or could pause their payments temporarily. The partial demolition of this part of Camp Nou was a priority, as it is the place where all the technological connections will be installed. Carrying out this work earlier was to help with scheduling and save time when the main construction work would start. In July 2024, the club announced that they're expecting to finish construction work on the Spotify Camp Nou stadium by August 2026. They also believe they will be able to host 64,000 spectators by this year's end, despite some pending works. So, here's the deal. While Camp Nou gets its makeover, FC Barcelona has packed and moved to another stadium, about 4 kilometers southeast. This place is a bit smaller, holding less than 56,000 fans, so some season ticket holders will have to take a rain check. But hey, who says size matters? The excitement is still through the roof. Adding to the excitement, the latest revelation is that talks are in the final stages for an incredible skywalk. This walkway will offer a breathtaking bird's-eye view of the stadium and the city from the ground's roof. Also, it has received thumbs up from firefighters department. Now, that's good news. But anyone wanting to use the skywalk will have to wait until the roof is fully installed, which will mean it won't open until 2026. So far, so good. The Espai Barca project is right on track, and it's looking awesome. Honestly, every stadium should take notes. The progress is impressive. They've demolished 73,500 cubic meters, excavated 425,000 cubic meters, and used 7.85 million kg of steel and 54,900 cubic meters of concrete. With nearly 1,200 workers on the job, they're now focusing on the upper tier's metal structure. The partitions inside Spotify Camp Nou, and getting the first and second tier seats ready before fitting them in. The pillars for the Spotify Camp Nou third tier are starting to rise and take shape as the work progresses. The iconic 1957 facade remains at the heart of the renovation, but it will soon be surrounded by the structure for the new tier, which will leave a gap between current stand and the facade of the new stadium, enabling the construction by architects to be viewed from the inside. Despite initial concerns, FC Barcelona president Joan Laporta assures that everything is on track for a December unveiling, and it is hoped that the first phase of the construction work would be completed in November to coincide with the 125th anniversary of the club. That fixture would reportedly see the stadium operate with a 60% capacity, with the first and second tiers of the stadium open. So, with the massive construction aiming for a capacity of 105,000 people, Barca owners were really gunning for Spotify Camp Nou to be selected as the FIFA World Cup 2030 final venue. But according to the news, it looks like Bernabeu is going to host it instead. For Kules, that's kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? But if you're a true football fan, you would agree that Santiago Bernabéu is as awesome as Spotify Camp Nou. Hear me out. Estadio Santiago Bernabéu opened in 1947, and the venue has since undergone 4 major expansions, as well as numerous smaller upgrades. The stadium ranks among the most important and recognizable sporting venues in Europe and the world. The latest major expansion of Santiago Bernabéu is now in its 5th year, and it is aimed to significantly upgrade the stadium and radically change the exterior. Currently one of the priorities of Real Madrid president Florentino Perez. How's the Estadio Santiago Bernabéu construction coming along, you ask? Well, it's quite the makeover. They're adding a swanky new facade, a fancy roof that can close over the pitch, and giving the stands and facilities a serious upgrade. Plus, they're installing a turf folding system and sprucing up the surrounding area. This is no small job, so they've got multiple crews working on different parts at the same time. The tricky part? Keeping the stadium functional throughout. Surprisingly, COVID-19 gave them a bit of a break, since Real didn't play at Bernabeu for a year and a half. Blessing in disguise, right? Actually, one of the big goals of the Bernabeu revamp was to keep the stadium up and running. They planned to do the work without messing up Real's match schedule too much, cranking up the intensity during breaks like the summer. Of course, there were some expected hiccups, like temporary capacity limits, slight calendar tweaks, and other minor inconveniences. Then, March 2020 hit, and COVID-19 paused the league games. When matches restarted in June without fans, Real Madrid made the smart move to play at their reserve venue, Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano, giving construction crews full access to the Bernabeu. Thanks to COVID-19, the builders got an extra year and a half to work without the usual match day restrictions. Real Madrid made their return to the Bernabeu in September of 2021. The next big question is, when's the grand finale for the Bernabeu makeover? Originally, the plan was to wrap up by August 2022, with an extra 4 months for the outside work, targeting December 2022, just in time for the stadium's 75th anniversary. But, as often happens with big projects, the timeline got a bit delayed. The war in Ukraine and some changes to the original project all played a part. With the original deadline missed, looks like we might have a new target for the Bernabeu's grand debut. According to some news outlets, the updated opening is now set for mid-January 2025. While this date hasn't been officially stamped by Real Madrid, Spanish media is pretty confident it's the real deal. So, I have one message for you. Hang tight, Madridistas. Here's a question for you. If you could combine one feature from Spotify Camp Nou with one from Santiago Bernabéu to create the ultimate football stadium, what would you choose? Let me know your dream combo in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to watch more such expensive and extravagant projects, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.